Okay, everyone, it is nicely that time again where I get to talk to you about a recent publication of mine. For those who may not know, I am a writer. Um, I'm not very flashy about it, and I've only published one book. I mostly write short stories. You can go to my website, it's in the description of every one of my videos, at least every one of my made in the last 2 years, maybe. Sorry, let me plug this back in so you don't hear that. Um, and this is actually a pretty neat publication opportunity for me, as it is in Swords and Sorcery magazine, which they don't actually only publish Sword and Sorcery, but that is a lot of what they publish. And I've tried I've probably sent more stories to Sword and Sorcery magazine than any other venue. They do pay; they don't pay like a great amount, but they're always open, and I appreciate it. I've read some really good stories, and so it's nice to finally crack it right after sending all these stories to it. Um, and what's interesting is I think I may have sent this story to one other place. I'm not so sure. I mean, like I've gotten it to where my style has very obvious vocabulary problems, if you will, or vocabulary that is just noteworthy in a sense. Like that's just my style, and a lot of places don't like that, I'm sure. And so I appreciate that this was accepted for publication, published. It's funny. I actually found, I think one. Like well, a couple slight mistakes, but one's really like a mistake when I read it now. But I honestly, I don't think it's a big deal either. But anyways, this story is in large part. I like to share kind of what inspired these stories on here. You can go read this for free. Mine, I will link it down below. It is free to read. Um, and the story, in large part, was inspired by a song, "Dull Knives," by The Warning, and it was also inspired by a short story by Bruce R. Cordell. It's a Forgotten Realm short story called Black Feather, a short story that I had kind of wanted to imitate for a while, and this is not my first attempt in doing that. It is also largely inspired by the Black Company books by Glenn Cook. It is also inspired by the Eddas, in particular Snorri's Edda. I think it's Gylfaginning. Yeah, should be so. And let's see what else. There's also a bit in there that is inspired by the Roaring Trumpet, which is connected to the Eddas anyways, but that's by Fletcher Pratt and Elsbeth Camp. There's also a part in there that is obviously from uh, The Use of Weapons by Ian M. Banks. Um, I'd have to go through again. Let's see. I know I referenced Mizuzi, who my friend Tim, that is his character. Um, and Mizuzi has had. Well, maybe I think Mizuzi's stories are only in New Edge Sword and Sorcery. Either way, Mizuzi's great. And so just a slight nod to Mizuzi in this case, actually. Um, and that's what I can think of off the top of my head, at least. So it hopefully it's a story you enjoy. It's not very long. It is about essentially it is focused on one woman who does not speak. Actually, there's not a character that even speaks. In fact, this woman is heavily inspired by like my attempts to put cyberpunk into Sword and Sorcery, um, as this woman is, how do I say it, kind of freakish in a sense, like that you would see in like cyberpunk. But she essentially has something over her mouth, so she does never speaks. And but maybe she's not quite what you'd expect. I don't know. So you can go read it if you will, see if you enjoy it. It's not tied to any other story by mine. Uh, I've never used these characters before, and I don't know if I'll ever use them again. So, what's interesting to me is that one of the first stories I ever wrote in this world, if you will, because I've written several stories in this world. It is actually the same world as where my novella is released, but most of those stories have not been published, and there's been several characters I've written. But I think the first story I ever wrote for this world was set in Zargel, and that is where this is set as well. And first time it's ever been seen the light of day. So, anyways, go and read it if you will. Let me know what you think. I mean, I know writing short stories. There's not like a great place to get people's thoughts on them. Most people don't talk about short stories. If you have a platform on YouTube, um, I'm not even. I even imagine the most blogs about books don't even talk about short stories all that much. So I realize that, but I still like to hear what people think. So if you have any thoughts, let me know. Oh, actually, SNS Magazine has a nice thing. You can just comment on the story itself on the page. So, anyways, um, yeah, go and check it out. Let me know what you think. Dole's Knife by Liam Q.D. Hall. I'll catch you next time.